Good evening. How are we doing, everybody? Great to see your comments coming in. Can you believe it? We are now on the hair show number 6, and we have a mega one for you tonight. Back to business. That's exactly what is happening in England, and we're going to be covering that for you tonight. We really have something good, but we have a very special guest who's going to be joining us, a co-host tonight, because Jordanna can't be with us tonight, but she will be here in spirit, and you will see her later in the show. But I'm going to reveal that very special guest shortly. As I say, this is your show, the Hairdressers Show. The feedback that we have been getting from you all has been absolutely incredible. We had our biggest show last week, and that is all down to you guys. So if you are liking the show, loving the show, let's get them all coming in, because it's you that is making it. It is the Hairdressers Show, and we've got a big one, so we're going to just crack into this tonight. So let's have a look. What do we have coming up? Well, let me look down as my screen as we tell you. So coming up on the hair show, back to business. That's exactly where we're doing as we get ready. I know our friends in Ireland have been back today. World Hair News. Yes, Jordanna is with us again tonight. She's going to be delivering us news stories that she's been picking out from the week. Rock up and share. We've got Joel McCauley of Slunks. It's a cracker, real good one. Hairdressing Horror Stories. Yes, this is brand new. I am excited for this. Georgia Bell, I promise you will laugh at this. There's some real chuckles in there. We've got really important stuff. We've got some exclusive government guidelines to reopening our salon, as we've got Hilary Hall, CEO of National Hairdressers Barbers Federation. Win a hamper full of Denman products. That's our big prize tonight. Look at that. Masters at Work, JB Mazzella. How good is that? Hairdressers Open Talk, we have Patrick Marrow. Mindful Mondays with Jordanna Cabela. So make sure that you stay tuned. Make sure that you get your comments, your likes in. Have you got things to say? Have you got questions that you want to put to the show? Then this is your chance to do it. We are all there. So let's say no more. I'm really excited because we are going to bring up onto your screen, if you're ready for this, our hosts who are joining us and our very special co-host. So let's welcome to the screens Georgia Bell and the lovely Daniel Granger, Mr. Hollywood of hairdressing. Welcome to the show, guys. How are we all?
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, did I say salary and not salon?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You're used to you now.
It is great. So how's the week been for you, George? How's everything going?
Yeah, really good. We're nearly there now, aren't we? It's nearly time to open again. Today is officially day 100 of lockdown. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, lots of stress for salon owners trying to get everything ready. But boy, am I excited to get back on the salon floor.
And Dan, look, so excited to welcome you as our co-host, because I say Jordanna Cabela, she's working on a British Hairdressing Awards collection. So great to have you. I mean, you're used to being in front of the camera. So how's it feel doing this live for you tonight?
It's one of those things I like talking to myself, apparently. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're talking to someone, no one's there, but you're kind of talking to yourself and you put your voice out there. And I always try and put a positive voice out there as well.
Yeah,
so, I love this. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, look, it's an absolute pleasure to have you. I mean, we always welcome yourself, and you've always been a friend of the show. And I think you've done a rock up and share as well, which was great. So before we're going to go into getting back into the salon, that's a real big part of tonight's show. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on it, everybody, and how's it gone? And those of you in Ireland, you've gone back today. Tell us, what's it been like? Let's get some real feedback. But as a big part of the show is the hair news, and Jordanna is still here to do World Hair News. So, Dan, George, should we just go into that one and let's see what Jordanna's got to share? She's been picking out her stories for us.
Let's see what.
Welcome back to the Hair News. Today we've got some exciting topics to cover for you. So first up, we have seen the launch of the PPE company called PCK. Now this company is all about delivering client care packages to salons. Each client care package comes with a disposable gown, a disposable towel and a refreshing sanitising hand wipe. Now, it's totally eco-friendly, it's recyclable. You can buy them in bulk from www.pck.co.uk. They have already been on the news. Hob salons have also started buying them, and I think it's going to bring a lot of comfort to the clients, but also to salon owners, because it's one less thing to think about. So head over to pck.co.uk to find out more.
We really know how to reassure our clients, so that's why I designed this fantastic pack for you called the Personal Comfort Kit. This is designed to make your clients feel more confident. The concept of the PCK kit is endless and can be adapted to any business. So I came up with this idea, what would be the perfect solution to make the client feel as comfortable as they could while they was in the salon. My vision going forward is to implement this in every area of the hair and beauty industry. So far, the response has been unbelievable. I love it, and I know you will too. As you can see, the client has left the salon feeling more safe and secure, knowing that we have taken every measure to make them the priority. For further information, contact me at www.pckinfo.com. I look forward to hearing from you soon.
And for news topic number 2, not all stylists are going to be returning to work, as reported by behindthechair.com. Now, if you are one of those people that is affected by the situation, we want to know why, and we want to help you, and we want to find out more. Whether you are a salon owner who has had resignations, or if you are employed and you have had to resign, we want to know your reasons and we want to help you. So please comment below and let's have a conversation about this. News topic number 3. If you have textured or curly hair, then how can you protect your scalp and your hair during these hot summer nights? Well, the answer is ditch the cotton pillowcases and invest in some silk pillowcases. Now, the fabric of which is actually really good for retaining the moisture in your scalp, but also retaining the moisture in the curls. Your scalp will be more breathable and you'll wake up with much softer curls. Head over to instar.com for the full article.
Hey, thank you so much, Jordanna. Hope the shoot went well. It's brilliant to have her news. And I'm just looking at some of these comments, and it's quite clear everybody is talking about us getting back into the salon. So Dan, how are you feeling about going back into the salon? I mean, we saw PCK there with their kit. How prepared are you feeling?
Well, that was one of the things. I thought that ever since I opened my business, I wanted my business to be that 5-star business, and that's all I've been about. So now I think we've got the opportunity to upgrade our business and make it more of a positive thing that we're doing, you know. So we're doing personal client packs. I mean, when you go left on a plane and you get your little pack there, you got your drink, you got your towels, you got your little open pack, you got your own blanket, you know that's just for you. And I think the clients are going to feel even more special when they return. And it's about kind of making their journey just feel amazing and explain it to them, because there's going to be a lot of nervous people out there. So it's how you sell it to them. Sell the client's journey that it's been upgraded.
Oh, Dan, I love your energy, mate. Honestly, your positivity, it just lives me so right. And what about you, George? I mean, Dan talks about his clients. I mean, what about your team, people going back in? I mean, how prepared are they feeling?
Yeah, I think we're all really ready to go. And I think, as long as you do your risk assessment and you sit down and you talk to people, like with the personal client care kit, I've got them in my salon. I think it makes your clients feel like you're thinking about them. And I think, we've been off for a long time and people are desperate to get their hair done. And I just cannot wait to get back in the salon. And I've had a lot of time to make sure that everything's covered.
Yeah, I've just seen here from Daryl, the stress with getting the salon ready has been really real. But I'm ready. My staff are ready and clients are buzzing. What day are you opening, Dan? Are you opening Saturday?
No. I've decided to open up on the 7th. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Saturday, Sunday. Where both my team, we're going to split them into 2 parts, and one's going to be the hairdresser and one's going to be the client. So on day 1, we're going to do 2 hours of training, talking about the new service, the new walkthrough, how even we communicate on the phone, how we communicate with the clients as they come through the door. And then you are going to experience the client's journey. And plus, all my staff need their hair doing. They need to look fabulous to make other people feel fabulous. So that's what we're going to do over the 2 days. Then we're going to have a day off. and then we're going to go full steam ahead.
Cool. And George, I bet you'd love to know when people are going back. Are you going back on Saturday?
I'm doing exactly the same as what Dan's doing, actually, and we're using Saturday and Sunday to make ourselves look decent and also to do consultations and skin tests. It's been a long time since some clients have visited, so we need to make sure that we're protected.
Yeah.
And of course, we've had the refurb, so I want the staff to get used to a brand new salon that they're walking into, you know? So,
Mega.
yeah.
Well, we're going to go into it lots more. And as I say, we've got coming up shortly my interview this morning with Hillary. And we're going to go through some of the guidelines, which I promise you, you are going to love hearing. You're really going to get some great stuff coming your way. But we're all about hair. We love hair. We love Rock Up and Share. And Rock Up and Share, as many of you are regulars of the show now know, is your platform. It's a way for you to go and showcase your work. And this one, we've got a debut coming in. It's coming in from Joel McCauley of Slunks. And I absolutely love this video. Dan, George, have a little look on this. And guys, get your comments in. Love to hear your thoughts on this look that we're about to see. Here's Rock Up and Share. Blimey, George, did you like that?
What can I say? I love it. The colour combination is just beautiful. And I really love Joel's style anyway. I think, I really like Slunks as a brand. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Look, just seen that, Dan, by the way, from Lynette. Stunning. I want to be a rainbow too. Awesome work. Are you into vivid colours, Dan? Is that your sort of bag?
No, it's definitely it's more creative work. I love doing it when I'm doing a photo shoot outside of the normal salon work, but I'm very kind of more commercial based in my salon. We tend to find that some of the stylists, what they put out, they will draw in. But we're a massive variety salon. We don't limit ourselves to anything. We do everything there is to everybody. So yeah, I don't. It's one of my things that personally, as I've grown up within the industry, my clientele's got a bit older, so them going out with rainbow hair, they're just not quite into that.
Can imagine my lot now, eh? There's another story.
Yeah.
They're going out with a hobble, but that's another thing. What about you, George? What are you expecting your clients to come back looking like? Have you thought about the colours? What you're going to see?
It's going to be hard to say, but actually there's going to be a lot of corrective work. I think there's going to be the odd few people that have put on a boxed eye. So I think the first appointment is really getting them to cleaning up a canvas to move forward. I don't expect there to be an absolute you know, I just want to make sure it's okay going forward with the hair, you know, and that's what I'll be concentrating on.
Yeah, it's great. I'm loving these comments, everybody. As I say, I've got to say now, you get a 20-second delay from seeing us saying what we say, and equally your comments. So if I'm a bit delayed coming back with them, that is the reason to them. But yeah, I mean, brilliant. These comments are so good, aren't they, Dan? When you see people coming in, that's what's so great about these lives, isn't it? How you bring people in.
It's the interaction that we're having with people right now. It's beautiful. I mean, when I do my YouTube shows, I have someone in my ear just kind of reading out the questions to me, and you really feel a part of something. You know, this is live. We're here now. They're there now, and we're all in this together. Yeah. And I think we've realised over the last 10 weeks we are all in this together. We've lost there's no egos left, is there?
I love it, Dan. Together. You get me uplifted every time I see Dan. And honestly, I mean, Dan, you've got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, that Dan is, you know, I mean, you've done a lot of TV work. Me and George are on your case now, I'll tell you. Hey, George. But yeah, it's really, really good. So look, we're going to move in. Keep the comments coming in. Keep an eye. Dan Thomas, our amazing producer, he doesn't want any of the glory. He always gets a bit shy about it. But you'll see Dan in the comments there, and he'll be sharing all the links tonight. Competitions, how to get involved in Rock Up and Share. If you want to get involved, very easy. He'll put the links in there, and it's just get your videos in. It's that easy. Don't think you're not good enough. But we've got a new part to the show. We know that you love brekkie, right? But we've got, I've seen this, and this is something you are all going to really enjoy. So, George, come on, I'm going to hand this over to you to introduce, because this is your piece.
Okay, darling. So while I love your dilemmas, I also am very interested in your hairdressing embarrassing moments. So I decided to do a feature called Hairdressing Horror Stories. And that is basically everything that's bad that's happened to you in the industry. So without further ado, Dom will introduce it.
So here we go. Honestly, you're going to have a good entertaining few minutes here. Hairdressing Horror Stories.
Don't worry guys, it's only me. Welcome to our new feature, Hairdressing Horror Stories. So guys, what I thought would be a really fun idea is to get people to write in and share their hairdressing horror stories. So the first one, absolutely, I can't even contain my laughter on this actually. So somebody wrote into me, anonymously of course, and they said that they basically had a client and a friend with the same name, except the client's name was spelt slightly differently. Anyway, months go on and she adds her friend on Snapchat. And meanwhile, she's sending her friend on Snapchat all of these ridiculously offensive things, like swinging her boobs around with nipple tassels on and stuff like this. Anyway, she met her mate at Christmas and said, "Why on earth have you not been replying to any of my Snapchats?" And her mate said, "I'm not on Snapchat." So all the while, she had been sending her client all of these offensive videos, and the client kept coming, but I think on the nipple tassel occasion she did actually switch to another member of staff, but nonetheless never said anything. Hairdressing horror story number 2. When your ex-boss makes you do cap highlights with 40 volt, oh no, and put it under heat, steaming hellfire. As you can imagine, as I was washing the hair away at the basin, it was literally coming out in my hands. Oh, that is so awful. There's nothing worse than a feeling like that, trust me. Hairdressing horror story number 3. Accidentally saying to my client, "I'm going to give you a good rub down," instead of "I'm going to give you a good towel dry." Believe you me, I've actually got one worse than that, but it is not for your ears at this time of night. Hairdressing horror story number 4. Doing a gent's haircut with a grade 2, chatting away, and the guard flying off and continuing to talk and not noticing, and going straight up the back of the head on a 0, and not even being that good at barbering at that time. I can imagine that was a little bit of a pickle. So hairdressing horror story number 5. This is actually one of my clients that messaged in. She went on holiday and her blonde hair turned bright green in the pool. What can I say, babes? Get the Tommy K out.
I absolutely love that, George. And I'm going to bring him in because he's my best mate. Since I was little high, I've done some shocking haircuts on. Stephen Bennett, there he is. Dominic, do you really want me to tell some of mine? He could bring up way too many stories, honestly. But I love that idea, George. Where did that come from, putting that out there?
I just think we've all had those moments, haven't we? Where, it's like, oh my gosh. And I think it's always good to share them. And I think, no matter how big you are in the industry or what you've done, you've always had those mistakes. And I think it's really funny to share them. I love them.
Yeah. I'd love people to put their funny comments in there. Wouldn't you, Dan, actually? I mean, have you had some... Is there any real stories that come to you, Dan, that you thought, oh my goodness?
I definitely. There's a radio producer now, and she always reminds me of it. She said when the All Saints band was out, and we used to do those like black hair with white stripes. You remember that? Oh, and I washed it all off, and these white bits just went like a muddy colour. And she is never. I mean, that was like 20 years ago, and still to this day, she reminds me of that. But yeah, we've all had them. We're human, If we didn't make mistakes, we'll never learn.
Oh God, we've all had one. And genuinely, one of mine. I was saying this to my wife last night, and quite often you'll hear people talk about inches, don't they? And we all tend to get, I want 2 inches off, and I was kind of, and I genuinely, I just said, look, I'll show you my inches. And as soon as I said it, that sounded wrong on every level. I'll show you my inches. Brilliant. So get your horror stories in. Yes, Stephen Bennett, we done some shocking hairdos on you, mate, but you were my very first haircut to you. It's lovely to see you, buddy. That was hilarious. I think that's a big hit for you, George. It really, really is. And great stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Well, we're back to business, as we said. This is a whole kind of title for tonight's show. And we've got a lot of things, and I'm talking about England here, and I know many of you from Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, as well as our friends in Ireland and Europe, and you're probably thinking, listen to all these English lot, you know what I mean? The worry, and all they hear about is the worries. Well, yeah, there is. There's been a lot of things circulating around, and but last week we got some guidelines, finally, for England, and I actually had the chance to interview this morning the CEO of the NHBF, National Hairdressers Beauty Federation, Hilary Hall, and I put some questions to her on some guidelines, and we have a longer video of this, and there's a much more. We're going to bring out a podcast on Wednesday for the full length interview. It was great to talk to Hilary, and there's a lot of questions that some of you put in the community as well, and I tried to put in as many of that. So I'm going to play this interview for you, and it's going to cover you guys all around Britain here, all right? So here's my interview earlier today with Hilary Hall. So if you don't mind, Hilary, we've got so many questions. A lot of our community within the How to Cut It Facebook group have put these questions, and we've put the comment out there to them, and I've never had so many questions coming in. So it gives you a good idea, and you're the perfect person. So we are going to go quite through these questions, and one by one, and let's see how we go. So the first question I want to put to you is something that's really come up a lot from so many people about the guidelines, and are these guidelines representative of just England, or do they represent England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland?
Well, we wish they did. To be honest, if they had the same guidelines across all 4 nations, it would make life a lot easier. But no, these are devolved matters. Each is doing its own thing. So when we come to the detail of the guidelines, they are England only, and you can't assume either that they're going to be the same for Wales and Scotland or Northern Ireland. Actually, Northern Ireland are using the England ones, but the other governments we think are developing their own. We hope they won't look too different, but don't assume that because something's in the England guidelines, they'll turn up in Scotland and Wales as well.
Okay, so what you're saying is every one of those have just got to wait individually for their own governments to, put out their guidelines for hairdressers, barbershops.
That's right. I mean, the timescales are slightly different in Wales and Scotland. They are reopening a bit later, but even so, we saw a lot of anxiety in England as people were waiting for the guidelines to be able to make those final preparations. So it's important information.
Absolutely right. Now, so we're going to be referring to England here, and as I say, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, you're going to have to just keep a lookout for here, and see what comes out of that. But one of the first questions that was all really came up for the guidelines, and when we talk about guidelines, Hilary, we're talking guidelines, not law.
That's right. Well, there is health and safety law that says that employers have to do the right thing by their employees and by people coming onto their premises. So there is health and safety law there that you have to follow and do your risk assessments and so on. But no, they are very much guidelines. What the government is trying to do is give the principles and some of the thinking behind it, because every business is different and each business owner will know how their business works, what they can and can't do. And the idea is you take the guidelines and apply them to your business. And that's why the risk assessments are important, because what you're really doing with the risk assessment is walking through your business, looking at each and every contact with customers. How can you minimize the risk? What measures can you take?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, very much guidelines.
Yeah, so guidelines, as I say, and because every salon is so different, some have got big numbers, some are very small numbers, but I think common sense as well comes into this, doesn't it, Hilary?
Yeah, it does. But you can understand people have lots of questions and often the answers are not in the guidelines. So there's been quite a lot of rumours going around, based on what other countries have done or what people have read. And some of those are true, but actually most aren't. And really, in the main, if it's not in the guidelines, then there's no restrictions on it. So perhaps we'll cover some of those.
Right. Well, let's get into some of these. Now, one of the big questions, again, that's come up as practitioners, i.e. hairdressers, barbers, are being required there's a message, we're being required to wear visors, but does that mean we have to wear visors and masks, or is it one or the other?
Right, what you have to wear, stylists and barbers, is a face visor. So that's a clear perspex screen that comes from the forehead down to below the chin and wraps around the side. And actually, there's no need to wear any other masks or face coverings. And in fact, the government say that face masks, the sort that medical people wear, can do more harm than good, because there are particular ways of taking them on and off. Certain things you have to observe about how much you can touch them and all of that. So what they talk about is face coverings, which only cover the nose and mouth, the sort of thing that people now have to wear on public transport. So for stylists and barbers, they must wear visors. Clients, stylists and barbers can wear face coverings if they want to, but to be honest, they don't make a whole lot of difference, so there's no need to wear them.
So as a client coming into the shop, Hilary, they don't have to wear a face covering mask?
Face covering or a mask, no.
Okay. Oh, that's a big shout, actually, because I think there's a lot of people thinking that actually clients have got to wear face coverings, but they don't.
That's right. Unless they choose to. If they choose to, they can. If employees want to, they can. But face coverings, not masks.
Well, thank you. That's a big one already covered there. Brilliant.
Big change.
Okay, Now, refreshments. This is a big one again. It's a big part of hairdressing businesses, offering lovely coffees, teas. Explain the guidelines on this one.
So what the guidelines say is that clients shouldn't eat or drink anything in the salon, but you can provide bottled water or water in disposable cups. It's just one little bullet point in 42 pages, but it's definitely there.
There's a lot of bullet points there, isn't there? Which we will lead everybody to that, because it's impossible for us to go through every bullet point. So maybe at the end of this, Hilary, we can send everybody off to where all the details may be there. Now, blow drying hair. Again, there's a lot of confusion around this. So can you clear up, can we blow dry hair?
This was one of the first questions we asked the government for clarification on, because we had so many questions about it. There are no restrictions on using hairdryers. There's nothing in the guidelines that prevents you doing that. So whilst we're talking about that, perhaps I can cover some of the others. You don't have to have clients washing their hair before they come. You can do dry cuts. You don't have to wear gloves when cutting hair. You can provide haircuts for children. So these are some of the things that, there've been very mixed messages about based on what other countries are doing or what people have said on social media. But actually, there's no restrictions in the guidelines. Air conditioning, fans, that's okay as well.
So what I've loved just there, in a matter of seconds, you've just cleared up so much. Rumourville is telling people they can't do dry haircuts. They can't wash hair. Children you can't do. But again, this is guidelines, isn't it, Hilary? people can, if you feel it's not right for you, because I know, we as a hairdressing business, that actually blow drying hair means that we've got people in the salon for longer, which restricts maybe appointment times, people about.
Yeah, that's one of the things that guidelines do say, limit the length of activities as much as you can. So some people are interpreting it the way you've just said, that actually if you don't do dries, or if people arrive with wet hair, that does limit the time. So that those are things to consider. But equally, you may want to consider, for me, my salon's 45 minutes away. By the time I arrive at the salon, my wet hair is not going to be very wet anymore.
Right.
So there's stuff like that to consider. Make it work for your business.
Yep. So, guys, thank you so much to Hilary for coming on to doing that, and the guys at SLPR for setting that up, Sam, who set that interview up. Brilliant, wasn't it, Dan? I think to get a little bit more clarification on guidelines, because, we've all been guessing. What's your take from, the mask situation? I kind of thought, well, I've got to wear a mask, a face covering and a visor, and my clients have got to wear a face mask.
We're going to come in a rubber suit. I mean, we're going to look like we're going to do asbestos or something. I think we all jumped to the gun. We all jumped very early because they didn't give us much time. And a lot of salons out there have gone and probably, I know a salon that spent nearly £5,000 on their PPE, and then they're saying they don't need to use it. Now, I personally think to keep my clients and my staff safe, I'm going to do everything I want to do, which is above and beyond the guidelines. Now, they're saying about not wearing the mask. No, we're going to wear the mask, and we're going to do it until we feel safe. So I'm going to do it as if my staff feel safe, and then naturally we'll just kind of get into the feel of things. Plus, I've got 1,000 masks that I've just bought. It's kind of, I can't get a refund on those. We've got the visors, we've got everything that we need, and we're going to go through with a 2-meter guideline as well, because a couple of my staff, they are vulnerable. One's got a lung condition, one's got a heart condition, someone's got vulnerable at home. So I'm going to do everything to keep them safe until I feel that it's right. And there are guidelines, so it's up to you guys. It's up to you.
Yeah, again, get your comments in, guys. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. What was your take on the dry hair cutting? Because George, I thought that maybe we couldn't do dry hair cutting.
Well, someone's just written in the comments, actually, speculations cost us a fortune. And I got all my connections set up in terms of the PPE. I didn't order anything until I got those official guidelines out. And I think you've just got to do whatever's right for you and your salon. Every team's different. Like Dan's just said, everyone's got different health conditions. You've got to do whatever's going to keep your salon safe. But yeah, I think the NHF have been fantastic, actually, and so informative. Really great video.
They have, and I said that into Hilary, and there was that was an interview over sort of half hour, 40 minutes this morning that I had, and we went through so many things. And thank you to everybody who put their questions in the How to Cut It hairdressing community. Really good questions in there. So if you want to hear that full video with Hilary, she goes, there's much more that we covered in that. Then I believe it's going to be up on our YouTube channel, which is How to Cut It, at 8 o'clock this evening. And also I'm going to be bringing you a midweek How to Cut It podcast special where you'll hear that interview too. So yeah, I hope it's put a little bit of comfort to you all, and we've just relaxed us a bit, because
do you know what, Dom? It's definitely what works for your business. Now, I'm not having children in the salon because I've got a backlog of clients that want to get in. So all I'm doing is essential colouring. There's no colour corrections. There's nothing like that. It's just make you look and feel amazing. And then if you want something better and bigger, we'll do that next time. So we're just doing essentials. We're going to get your hair cut. We're going to get your hair coloured, and we're going to build your self-esteem. And then, do you know what? If you want to come back in 5 weeks, that's fine with me. Yeah. So and children, you can't kind of put a lead on them, can you? So, they'll be running around left and
Any
right.
excuse not to bring them in the shop, I'm all for it personally.
In actual fact, if we really want to give the best service to our clients, actually, is a dry trim the best thing that we can be doing for them? Not necessarily. A cut and blow dry is shows our skill, and really that's the best kind of service. But it's really up to every business, I think.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, it is guidelines. Hilary said it's not law, but it's common sense. It's doing things sensibly that works for your business, your team and your clients, because ultimately that's what this all comes down to. It's about keeping everybody comfortable, safe and in a happy environment, because it is going to be a challenging time. So as I said, you want to go and check out that video. It will be up later on. Now we're going to come back to more on that. So again, if you've got any more comments, I knew it was going to be a big one, that you're all going to have some thoughts on there. But what's really big to the hair show, and we love every week now, is that we have some great prizes, and our friends at some brands are giving us some mega prizes. So we're going to go into this week's competition, and this is where I'm going to hand it over the full screen to George. So George, tell us all about it.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. So this week we have got one of my favourite brands out there, and it's Denman, and they are giving us an array of brushes and balayage kits. Everything that you need for your kit after lockdown, they're basically giving away in a prize today. So without further ado, I'm going to play the Denman video, and that is the new Jack Howard balayage kit that they've just launched. And then we'll talk about more prizes and giveaways after that.
21st century hair colorists need 21st century tools. If you are serious about your balayage, if you're serious about your glazing, your tinting, your root stretching, these are the tools that are going to work for you. So the three things that are different about the brush that I've designed with Denman are the temple design of the bristles. So that was really important to me, that we had a firmness, but we also had a softness. If you paint color, you know how important that is. The second thing that was important to me was the ergonomics, so that everything sat in your hand really well. And that's a real personal story for me. And the third thing that was important to me was that the bristles are so important. I needed them to be soft, but I needed them to be firm at the same time so they didn't fall apart.
Okay, guys, so what an amazing prize that we've got from Denman this week. Super exciting. But without further ado, I want to announce last week's prize winner, who is winning the full kit of the Behave colour. Again, another amazing prize. It covers your roots in 10 minutes, super quick service, and the winner is Leah Shaw. So congratulations for that, Leah. And remember, guys, please, Dan will share the link in the comments, but actually next week, it's going to be our full prize giveaway. So every single prize that we've been offering on the 6 hair shows is going to be going into one big hamper. So please make sure you sign up and put yourself forward for that.
Brilliant.
And without further ado,
Wow.
I'll talk you.
Yeah. Congratulations, Lee Shaw. Such lovely Shaw. She's great. So nice to see her win. And truthfully, these prizes, we use some software which randomly does it, and we're getting many of you are applying for this, and it is so easy to enter. Honestly, the form that Dan is putting in the comments, that's it. Just go in, sign up, and that's it. You are eligible. And as the prize next week, Dan, honestly, mate, we have got, it's bumper, isn't it, George? I mean, such a big prize that rolling.
You are going to be like sorted for 6 months. I'm telling you now, the amount of prizes that we've got in that hamper next week, it's huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Do
you like winning a prize, Dan? Are you up for a bit of a prize giveaway?
Oh, I love prizes. I love winning.
Yeah, what's it? I've just seen a question here. Is there a link to buy these? Unfortunately not, but that's hopefully something we will do. So brands, if you're looking in and you want to start to get it, help support the hair show going forward, get in touch with us, because that's what we want to offer. We want to offer links and, you know, get your support, and that we can keep bringing you this on a future going forward, because it is getting bigger and bigger. This show really is. And when I talk of getting bigger, we really are bringing in some powerhouses, Dan, George, when it comes to hairstylists. And when we started out with this, one concept that we came up with was masters at work. And that's exactly what this is. We want masters at work to showcase their work, what really represents them. Now, we are going to go into a video here. I'm so honoured to welcome this person on. And Dan, you know of who I'm going to introduce here, and we'll talk about him after. But he's a legend. He's probably one of the best haircutters, if not the best haircutter in the world. So, without further ado, Masters at Work with Jean-Baptiste Mazzella, better known JB Mazzella.
Hi everyone, JB here from MMP Education. Glad and very honoured to be with you on Master at Work, on this amazing show that you've been producing, Don and the team. I think that's been absolutely sensational. I'm so humbled to be here with you today. So the look that I'm going to showcase is very simple. It's a very beautiful bowly shape, working with precision cutting, some stronger outline as well, and a beautiful doll head that we pre-colored already using Goldwell products. So here what we've used is actually Top Chic, and we went for the really strong, powerful red. This color's been done by one of the team that collaborated with us, who's called Fanette. And Fanette worked here with the 7RR at RR on Top Chic. So what I'm going to show you now is how we get through the section and how we're going to go through the haircuts bit by bit. So in here, to prepare the hair, what we did is we worked with Kera Silk. So Kera Silk color started with shampoo and conditioner. This is extremely important. We have a section running through the side. We have a section all the way from behind the ear going towards the other side. So this one is quite balanced. But the two sections on the front area, one is slightly longer, one is slightly narrower. So we'll see the narrow one on one side, which is just below the top of the ear, and on this side here it goes a lot deeper. It's going to be two very different sections. Now towards the back we have one section on either side, and also in here we've got all the lower parts just going down. The idea here is very simple, is to actually split the top into two. We're going to create this very beautiful tailored graduated feeling, but going quite high. So here, instead of going for a very low graduation, we're actually going to go for something a bit higher to compensate a flatter area around. So in here, what I'm going to do is my section is at that level. So everything that's on that section and go above that section will remove weight. But in here, everything that's below the section and the lower I go will build. So here, I'm going to create a graduation. I'm not going to go for something which is basically too low, because the weight will sit too low, and that's not going to counteract the fatness of the shape of the crown. So in here, grab the hair. I'm going to go much higher. And you see from the elevation here, this is my section, just a little bit lower. You can see just slightly lower. Bring the hair up. And then section number one on the base in the middle. And what we've done is we went all the way using vertical section and going all the way onto the side. So we kept the same length all the way around. So what we did is we actually just went below and keep a little bit more of length into the outline. This is to help us to actually create a little bit more softness as the hair is going to fall, because we're going to create stronger outline afterwards. I'm going to do this section into 2 sections, no more. Grab the hair here, bring that into the front area. Careful with the red here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to check where the cheekbones are. This is quite, and take the fine side of the comb, bring it down, bring the hair actually to the comb here with the help of the scissors, and then I'm going to create a straight line. Now this is hard to do for me because I don't want to be, so I'm going to grab the length here, go around the lip area. So let's do Joe to start with, so I've got a little bit of length to be able to play with afterwards. So I cut everything into one go here.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to leave you hanging on that, guys, because this is in 2 parts with JB. The video is incredible, the detail that JB shares in the video, and it was so hard for us because we like to put everything into nice bite size, being a magazine show, and it was just so hard for Dan to really knuckle down. So we're going to have part 2 of that coming up later on into the show, all right, so you can see the finished results. But what do you think of JB, Dan? I mean, isn't he an amazing hair cutter?
I mean, I started following this guy a little while back, and I was just thinking the intricacy and the thought that he puts into everything, and he's a little bit of me. I mean, his level of work and his level of education, he is so focused. Yeah. Like, he is into that precision cutting. Like, you know, the person that I saw before that is Vidal Sassoon. He is today's version of him, if not better. I think, you know, he's brought it to another level.
Oh, incredible. And what about actually when you see these sort of haircuts, George? Is it stuff that, does that get you still excited when you see haircut? Is haircutting something you get excited by?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm probably known for my colour, but I respect people's work, and that for me, there's no one better. And the way that he teaches, I find that the way that he educates is just beautiful. Like the head sheets that he does, everything. It's really interesting, and it just keeps you there. And I think even if you're a colourist and you're watching that, it's very hard to not pay attention and to see what he's doing and appreciate what he's doing, you know?
Yeah, and I've just got to bring Jack up, Jack Mead. Hello, Jack. Congratulations. He's made the top 5 of the Precision Cutting Championship. Have I got that right? But I know he's top 5. So big round of applause.
Well done, Jack.
We're all rooting for you, buddy. So moving on to the next part of the show, and we love this bit. It's something we bring in every so often, and it's Hairdressers Open Talk. Hot topics, and that's exactly what this is about. It's about engaging conversation. It's our Poets Corner at Hyde Park. That's exactly what it is. And I've got a great friend of ours, somebody I've really enjoyed getting to know over the last few years, and that's Patrick Marrow of Hive. So get your comments in. He's going to be covering about his thoughts on going back to the salon. I think it's something that we should all listen, and some good stuff coming out of this.
Hey guys, it's Pat from Hive Manchester Hair Studio. I've been asked by Dom to give a few thoughts and feelings on coming back to work, reopening the salon, and basically give a bit of an update as to what we've been up to and my thoughts and feelings on that as well. If someone had told me that I was going to have a 3-month holiday at the start of the year, I would have laughed at them. But it's amazing what you can do when time like that is forced upon you. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm a pretty big overthinker. I tend to think about things a little bit too much. But this time round, it was actually a surprise to me, pleasantly, that didn't really happen. I was pretty clear from the start that I wanted to change the direction in which I wanted to take my hairdressing. Unfortunately, that left me with the unenviable task of divorcing a few clients who have been, you know, fairly loyal to me for a large proportion of my career. But it's amazing actually how understanding some people can be when you have a good dialogue with them, and you're understanding and you're appreciative of their contribution towards building your business as well. So I'm going to take a new direction focus on the type of work that makes me happy, but I'm also going to help the team focus on what makes them happy rather than prioritizing takings. Because I personally believe that if you're happy doing what you do, money will come. I'm really looking forward to getting into the salon. There's a new look in the salon as well. A lot of it has been done with my bare hands, which has been testing, but it's been loads of fun. I'm looking forward to catching up with clients that I've not been able to engage with unless it's been virtually through things like Instagram. But I'm also looking forward to not begging for patience, because there's so much hair that will have grown back that we will have a huge amount of a canvas to work with. The downside to that is there's going to be a lot more product to use, and we're going to have to find a really, really fine balance on how we're going to charge for that, whether it be for PPE, obviously, or whether it be for products used as well. Another thing that I'm really looking forward to is not being overloaded, not having a super, super busy column. Obviously, that's going to mean that we're going to take less money. But I think if we work on keeping our quality high and keeping our enthusiasm for the job that we're doing high, then the money will not be problematic, as long as we focus on a strong business model, keep positive, keep working hard, clients will come, and I'm very confident about that. Thanks for listening. I hope you're all well. If you have any questions, then give me a shout. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Patrick. He really delivered that so well. So if you'd like to do a Hairdressers Open Talk, get involved. Got something to share, say, really good. I love what he mentioned there, George, of divorcing clients. What was your take on that?
Yeah, do you know what? It's always a tough one, isn't it? But times have changed, and I also agree with that. Do what makes you happy, and if you're happy doing something, you get a much better result. So I can't blame him. It's his business. It's the way he wants to run things, and you may as well be happy doing it, haven't you?
Yeah, and I think sometimes, Dan, you just have to reinvent how you work and how you price. Have you ever gone that route? You thought, well, I'm just going to change everything completely and believe in what I want to do?
I change all the time. I change everything. Big deep breath, guys, and just go for it. You're going to be okay. That's how it always is. As long as you believe in it, they will believe in you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go into our next segment of Masters at Work. We're going to see the finished look. Believe me, stay around for this because it's great. But I do want to get some comments coming in. Any Scottish hairdressers out there, Irish hairdressers, Welsh hairdressers, what's your thoughts? I want to hear what you're thinking. Is there things that you want a bit more clarity yourselves? How was it in Ireland? I'd love to know. But let's go into the final part of Masters at Work with JB Mazzella. Enjoy.
So, got a nice shape through the side. Got this length going shorter to longer. A little bit more length here. And then I've got the shape at the back. There's always a little bit of a dance, a bit of a mix with the clippers, using the scissors, using the spray. So you see now, this really cool, nice shape at the back, just bring a little bit more of a structure to it. And finally now, just gonna just get the shape together here. So yes, I'm gonna utilize the clippers. Thank you everybody, thank you Dom, thank you for team, you've enjoyed the show. Fantastic time with for you. I mean, it's very, very warm this afternoon. It's the hottest day of the year. What a great idea I had to do it on that day. But I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So working with Goldwell Top Sheet 7RR at RR for the actual color to keep this really punchy, beautiful redness. And in terms of the styling products, I went for KMS and Goldwell Dual Senses.
What a haircut. JB, thank you so much, my man, for doing that. He really has put that video together for you, and the full video is going to be up on Wednesday. If you want to see the whole aspect, he talks through every part of it, but it's amazing, and a fantastic editor as well, Dan Thomas. And you know, brilliant to see. There's a question here actually, Dan. I'd like to, you know, maybe somebody said about what clippers are using, which is, yeah, we can't answer that. But we see this quite a bit now with haircuts, don't you? People finishing lines with clippers. Is this something that you do?
Yeah, definitely. I think to refine with a clipper, it gets off the hair like in more of a smoother action, and then you just refine with the scissor afterwards. So it's about having speed as well, because we know that some of these haircuts aren't practical in the time given in the salon. We do know that, but they're so much fun to do. Grab the clipper, slice it off, and then just refine it with a scissor afterwards. Comes out just perfect.
It's great to see the haircut getting a little bit of glory again, and that's what I love with JB. He does put a different take on there, but the colour was beautiful, and obviously the colour he mentioned in there, and Saffron's put, you know, stunning, and you can't beat a bit of 7RR colour best red. I mean, colour for you, George. I mean, the colours really do bring out a haircut, don't they? They marry so well.
Yeah, absolutely, and I really love the nice global application of colour with a really beautiful cut like that. You know, if there's not too much colour work going on, it's just enough, and I think it really shows off the cut the way that it should be shown off. It was an amazing cut.
It was, and if you want to go and find out any more on JB, he's all online. I'm sure JB's in the comments, so JB, put your link in there, and if people want to get in touch with him about education, well, I couldn't recommend somebody highly enough. And of course our wonderful Dan as well, who's, I've got to say, you've been doing some brilliant work yourself with cutting, Dan, and you've made a real mark for yourself on that, and it's great to see you all coming through and doing so well. But please go and check out, and we'll have the full video up on our YouTube channel. It's relatively new. Please do go and subscribe to our channel. We've got some great videos on there, so everything you are seeing on this show you'll see on our channel. We're coming towards the end of this. It's just flying by so quickly. I can't believe it. And Dan, I'm going to kind of hand this bit over to you actually, because it's we introduced this last week with Jordanna, Joe Irvin. They done Mindful Mondays, and I want you to introduce this video that's coming up, and maybe a little bit about mindfulness, and you know how we should do and use this. Certainly going back to our salons right now.
I mean, coming from a past where I had to use mental health in a positive light. Now, I call it mindlessness rather than mindfulness, but because to empty your mind is the most difficult thing when you've got something going on, and we need to keep our mental attitude and our mental health up, and we know that we've all dipped, and this next coming week we're going to see a lot of anxiety, a lot of excitement, anxiety, and we're going to ride those waves. So have a listen to this, you'll like it.
Here we go, and this is Jordanna coming your way.
Welcome back to Mindful Mondays, the part of the hair show where we discuss everything well-being related in the hairdressing community. This week's topic is all about reopening. Now, I'm sure you'll all agree with me, it is round the corner and my anxiety levels are through the roof. Hopefully some of the tips we'll be sharing can actually benefit for the weeks coming. So it's round the corner, we don't want to be burnt out too quickly. So where you can, try and take your days off. Whether it's one day a week or 2 days a week, try and do it. You're going to need that time off to recoup, relax, and come back your normal, efficient self. When you're traveling to work, try walking or cycling. Maybe listen to music instead of podcasts, because we have had information overload in the last 3 months, listening to online education, listening to podcasts. So try and switch off and listen to music on the way to work. If you can, arrive a little earlier just to give yourself that breathing space, and it gives you more time to get your mask on, get your PPE on, and get yourself in the zone before starting a full day of clients. Bring snacks with you to work, have a bottle of water on your station. You're going to need the food throughout the day. Maybe consider slow release food so that, that can slowly give you energy throughout the day. Make sure you give yourself at least 10 to 15 minutes per client in between each appointment. That way you're going to have time to take the mask off, have a bit of a breather, and disinfect the station. Also, try practice wearing your mask at home or your visor at home, just so you can acclimatise to it as well. Communicate with your clients beforehand so they don't feel really, really shocked when they first come in with the new policies or the fact that you may be wearing full gear. Also, communicate with your team. People are going to be suffering in different ways, and I think sharing the load is going to really help. So make sure you check in on people, be kind, and if someone looks like they're suffering, lend them a listening ear. I think that's all from me today. Guys, good luck. We are going to get through this. Make sure you go at it slow and steady, and you don't burn out too quickly. Give yourself regular breaks. Eat as much healthy food as you can, and good luck to you all. I'll see you on the other side, and I'll see you next Monday at 7 p.m. All the best.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Jordanna, we miss you. Dan's been fantastic. If we can have 4 of us now on the chair, we're going to need to squeeze us all in a bit more. Be lovely. And we've loved having... And Jordanna, thank you so much, and I hope the shoot went well. And I've got to just pick up that comment. I just said the numbers are fantastic tonight in our green room when you're all watching it. We're having a chat behind here, and you know what George said? She said it's because we've got a good-looking fella here this week. And I said, how very dare you? Yeah, Mr. Hollywood. Hey, it's tough. Yeah,
I've had a great time.
Have you enjoyed it? It's been fantastic. And so here we are. We're getting ourselves just before we sign out, and mindfulness, wellness. We are going to be busy, aren't we, George?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, these little things we do at the best of times forget about ourselves. And that was before we have to work, so catch up on everything that we've missed out. So I think that, Jordanna's tips with Mindful Monday is absolutely fantastic, actually. And remember to look after you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan, and how you been in your sort of self? How do you feel? Are you anxious? Are you just excited? How are you keeping yourself calm and chilled?
I mean, I listen to a lot of positive motivational stuff. A lot. I read it, I feel it, I study it. I have a therapist that I go to regularly, and I give him a call anytime. I create that relationship with somebody that's going to bring me up and not down. I don't talk about the broken glass on the floor. I talk about kind of just how we put it back together all the time, and I just move forward. It's about where you're going. It's not dragging the past with you, and it's not feeling anxious about the future. All you've got is here and now. That's it, guys. Here and now, and that's what we just get into. It. You're going to be okay. It's going to be good.
It is. And please, everybody, just let's get back and let's start to get some normality coming back into, our lives. And I think that's it. And, we can all take a little bit of that mindfulness and certainly take time out. I know I could be a bit million miles an hour as well. So, look, Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure having you join us tonight. And I hope you come back again and do this with us another time.
Yeah, certainly will. Definitely will. I love doing this. I love reaching out to people, and if I've got something good to share, I'll share it. I'm a good sharer.
Great. Well, that's wonderful, and good luck with your opening. And George, I know you're with us every week and regular face. What would you say for anybody who wants to get involved in the show?
Obviously all the links are in the comments. You can always slide into my DMs, like I normally say, and send me anything you need. So whether it's any of your rock up and shares or your TikToks, we love to hear from you. We say this every week, guys, but this is your show. And we always accept your direction of where it's going, and we're open to kind of bringing new bits in and carrying on other stuff. So yeah, just get in touch and send away and get involved. It's for you.
Right. Okay. Well, everybody watching in, give your love hearts and likes to George and Dan. It's been an absolute joy to have you both again here tonight, Dan. Really enjoyed your company. Thank you so much for joining us. And George, we'll see you next week without fail. So goodbye to you guys, and I'm going to just do my farewells to everybody. So yeah, bye to you. Have a great week, you guys. There we have it. What a wonderful show. We're absolutely buzzing with this show. I really can't tell you how much we're enjoying it. Great to have Dan doing it. So thank you so much for Dan coming on to the show. He just fitted in great. And obviously we miss our Jordanna. She'll be back with us again next week. And as George said, if you want to get involved, get in touch. Please just get part of this. Get involved in our community, the How to Cut It hairdressing community. Get involved, Instagram, wherever that may be. We are all out there. We want your rock up and shares, all right? We want your hairdresser open talk. So everybody who's been involved, you guys who have been putting your comments in, thank you so much. Thank you so many of you now that have become real good friends of us all over this last period of time. And I can't say it enough, but really do enjoy going back to this new world of hairdressing again. But let's keep this going. Don't let this disappear, because it can. We want to be here every Monday for you. Just a bit of time out, hairdressing, where we all come together and enjoy and learn and be inspired and be uplifted. All right, that's what we're about. It's your show. So thank you so much. Have a great week, all of you. Best of luck. And please, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, get in touch. You are all in this as well. So we're going to finish the show as always. I'm going to flash up some of your comments. I'm going to have a look on it. But this is where we get our TikToks come in. It's a lovely way to finish the show. And if you've got a video that you'd like to share, TikTok video, again, submit it using the form. So until next week, peace, love and smiles all the way. Goodbye.